Hey, everybody. Listen, welcome into the building. We're doing our recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm glad you're here and I hope you're really tuned in and watched and took your notes because we're about to get into it. Before we get into it, a couple announcements I want to make. Announcement number one, this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm finally doing my 10K party. My 10K party, even though I'm at 11K, but we still doing the 10K party. Gonna have some giveaways, so you should stop by. Also, listen, we're doing the Diva Choice Awards on that day, and I have to see, I'm not sure yet. We might have a court case on the docket. We'll see. But we're definitely doing the Diva Choice Awards, and we're gonna have a up and coming rap artist as the musical guest. You know, when you do a award show, they always have an opening act, right? So our opening act, we got an up and coming rap artist. I actually go to the gym with this young lady. She's a sweetheart. I call her my gym daughter. She's really good. I posted it on my community page. Go follow her. Listen to her music. She is amazing. I love her. So she's gonna come and do an original rap song right here on Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva for our 10K party. So I hope to see y'all in the building this Saturday at 3 p.m. Now listen, I was in touch with the cheerleader from the Carolina Panthers. She had another engagement, kind of got tied up with her times and everything. We're going to see if we can connect. If we can connect, I'll let you know. And she's still willing to come on the channel, but we shall see. So we're about to get into this episode, but I got to bring my boy up. Got to bring my little co-host here, my partner in crime, so to speak. Okay, got to bring my partner in crime up here, Canelo.
What is going on, Diva?
What's up? And listen,
what's going on, chat?
everybody, make sure y'all subscribe to Canelo's channel. It's exactly as his name is showing there. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff together. He has books out. He has t-shirts. We'll be talking about that later. And matter of fact, you know what? If we could get on time, I might give away one of his t-shirts at the 10K party. It's gonna go down at the 10K party. I better be there. Yes.
I'm definitely gonna be there. Y'all best to know it.
Yes. Canelo is definitely gonna be there. Okay. So listen, we're gonna get into this just a tad bit here. It opens up, and somebody please tell me. Listen, I'm not against it, but why did Todd stop drinking? Was there a problem? Was there a situation? It's just out of the blue. He talking about he stopped drinking. He's detoxing his body. I want to know why. I don't think that it was just out of the blue. I don't think it was just nowhere. I want to know why did he stop drinking. And Don, where did you go? Give me a minute. Why did you leave me? Why did you leave me? I was gonna bring you up. Just had to do a little background. Okay, I see you back. Okay, that's not BK. Thank you for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yes, Todd stopped drinking. I'm like, what's going on with that? Okay, Todd stopped drinking. And Sheree, hey Don, what's going on in your background? You not ready for me? Wait, the doctor loves that he got too sexual. Everyone is talking about it. Really? Oh, was he got a little too frisky and extra when he was drunk? I didn't know. I didn't hear about it.
That probably happens. I'm quite sure.
Wait, how about that? You can't be drunk daddy daycare. Oh, see, y'all being messy at the start of this
thing. We can't do that. Y'all need to let me know when y'all gonna be this shady.
You know what, I do know Kandi doesn't drink. Yeah, so maybe she convinced him. Okay, listen, y'all educating me. I had no idea why he just all of a sudden out of nowhere, stopped drinking. Hey Lisa, what's going on? Okay,
hey,
everybody,
happy Monday. Happy weekend.
We had a good weekend. Hey King, you're in the building. Don, you're in the building. And Buzz, you are in the building. So okay, y'all giving me a little education here. I didn't know exactly why Todd stopped drinking. Now, Sheree, you know what? This on fashion show, it better be everything because she's so messy talking about she needs models with nice boobs. No, what you need, Sheree, is you need to actually have some fashions. So you better, I'm telling you, this fashion show, it better be everything. It
Look,
better be everything, okay?
all I'm saying, this is
Go
like
ahead.
a fashion show that's been in the making since season 1. So 14 years in the making. This has better be good. And secondly, I think, as you get older, a lot of people do decide to drop off from drinking. So maybe Kandi probably steered him in that way, and maybe there's some truth to what, some of the comments are saying that he's daddy daycare. But
That's not
it's
easy.
good.
I'm gonna tell you something.
But I was going to say it's not easy because,
I stopped drinking.
I don't drink as much. Diva, I just told you I drink like 2 drinks and I'm done. I don't drink, because I used to drink like 5 drinks. I don't do that no more. And it takes a toll on your body as you get older too. So
yeah,
maybe
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm going to say maybe it's a healthy choice too.
I stopped the drinking too. So it's because I know reason why, because I'm pre-diabetes and I know alcohol will have a lot of sugar in. Liquor have a lot of
Well, I'm a
sugar in.
diabetic and I still drink. So, my
Okay,
blood.
so hold on, guys. Let me just say this. I get everything you're saying, right? When you get older, maybe you got pre-diabetes or whatever. But I need to know what Todd's aha moment is, because I doubt if it was pre-diabetes. I
It
doubt
ain't
if it's because
pre-diabetes.
he's
I'm
getting
crazy.
older. I want to know what's going on. Okay, what are the people saying about Todd's behavior? We need the deets. We need to know. We need to know. Didn't he say he was vegan? He also did say he was vegan. I thought he was joking when he said that.
I didn't know that.
But
Yeah.
wait a minute. Why are we down to this man for living a healthier life? Are we really in
I'm
this
not
so
down
far?
to him for that.
No, Buzz. No,
In our society that we gotta down people for being
no,
vegan and stopping
No.
drinking?
Buzz, hold on, Buzz, slow down. We not down to him. I just want to know where the aha moment came from. Okay, Todd is okay, Sebastian. Todd is detoxing. I ain't mad at him. I just want to know, where did it come from? Where did his awakening come from? That's all I want to know. When did the enlightenment come? That's it.
Buzz over here, Buzz. She got the steak diva. She got the steak and the fireburner.
We want to know.
Yes. Yeah, because you know what this is about? We got to educate the people too as we talk about these things. Maybe somebody else can get the same light bulb he got if we know why he got it. Okay, what was the enlightenment about? We need to know. I'm sorry, one second.
Diva, Candace is diva.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Diva, Candace do drink. She just don't drink on camera. She said that.
Oh, so you trying to say Kandi, a behind the scenes drinker? I don't think Kandi ever drank, but if you want to say that, okay.
I've never seen her.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. Is she a drinker like they drink? No, but you can get her to take a drink.
Hold on.
You can definitely get her to take a drink.
No.
All right. So hold on 1 second. Don, what do you think about Todd and his new awakening that he does? He's not going to touch a drink.
Well, I think Todd is really detoxing. Todd is, getting up in age, and he sees that Kandi can be successful without getting drunk or drinking. Todd went to the strip club, 4 or 5 nights out of the week.
Oh.
While he was there, him and Apollo and Peter was taking shots after shots after shots. So, he probably got tired of that lifestyle. Now, he did say he was going back to the drinking. He didn't say it was forever.
He did.
So it probably is a detox, for a while. He's definitely going back, but he's probably trying to clear his mind.
Okay, he's trying to clear his mind. Okay, I like that.
For the time being.
For the time being, for the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get with that. King, what is this new awakening? Todd, stop drinking.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm kind of agreeing with everybody else. Usually I try to come on and be a little shady, but I think he's at a certain age and he's probably doing it just,
Wait, hold on, y'all, because y'all keep saying a certain age. What is this certain age?
No, I'm not saying I don't consider, no, but I'm about 12 years behind him, but I'm just saying, he's at a certain age of maturity where he might be taking his health a little bit more serious. than he
Okay.
did when he was over in Africa telling Marlo Kandi was country.
Oh, see, now see, you started mess out the door. You started
Yeah,
mess
we ain't
out the
gonna
door.
do
We didn't
that.
even
We're
get
not gonna
there.
do
But
that.
here's
We
the
didn't
thing,
even get
though.
there. You starting mess.
But the
You
crazy
starting
thing
mess.
I'm
We
was,
are
going back
not
on
gonna do
mute.
that, Key.
Go
but
ahead,
that was
Buzz.
like
I'm
12
sorry.
years ago. That was like 12 years ago. And haven't we always said something about somebody and then got to know? I was like, oh, I think I like them.
He ain't say that about Candy, but we'll get
He
there, y'all. Okay.
said. But I want to say this, D, before we
Yes.
move on. Now,
Yes.
y'all know,
Please say it.
my friend hates when I say this. Y'all know she does work with Candy. She does events for her. Candy does not drink. She works closely with her, so she does not drink at all behind the scenes. Believe you me, she tells me everything, but I can't really put it out there. But I know for a fact, Candy don't touch nothing
All
at
right,
all.
Candy's not a drinker. Thank you,
No.
Canelo. So then before we even get to the trip, Kenya and Drew have a phone call. They talking about Sonya's vacation rules. They not supposed to wear no wigs because she don't want people up there with glue in their hair and all of that, right? And then they also talked about her party city decorations. And listen, should we be talking about these decorations, or should we just be like, listen, she actually gave Sheree a birthday party, and should we just give her kudos for that? Or are we gonna be
Yeah.
talking about these decorations?
Mm-mm.
No, we're
Go ahead,
talking
Drew.
about the
Give her
decorations.
kudos for that because
Mm-mm.
she didn't have to
No,
spend no
no,
money
no.
on having Sheree no party. She
Mm-mm.
had to be
Those
your
Mm-mm.
birthday,
decorations were
but that's
concerning.
okay.
Okay.
No. Let me just say this, guys. Let me just say
Mhm.
this. First of all, Sanya should have not did what she did. She should have had them people at her house 5 to 6 hours earlier to make sure those things was working, make sure the party decorations were right, make sure the food was going to be good. First of all. Secondly, Kenya has no right to talk about nobody's event. When she took everybody to South Carolina last season, had to buy their own food when she sat on the thing and had ate her own self, and everybody else was hungry, so she ain't got no right to talk.
Yes, she
Thirdly,
does.
you stay out of this, Sebastian. We'll fight
Yes, she
later.
does.
We'll fight later.
Yes,
But
she does.
anyway,
Yes, she does. She
No,
definitely.
I
Sebastian.
actually agree. I actually agree. I agree
Okay.
that yes, we can be happy that she threw her a party, but I agree with him. Like, if you're gonna throw her a party, you should make sure that everything is working properly. Like, have
I'm
it
not
coming set up in enough time.
right. I'm not saying that Sonya did not, have it right intentions, but she should have did it in enough time. Don't do it when the guests are coming. Do it in the amount of time.
Sometimes you know what though, Canelo. To her defense, sometimes the guest got to help you set up.
That is true.
Throwing the event is not easy.
That's
Yo,
true.
you got here early. Get over there, finish the cooking for
And
me.
that's why I'm never early to
Take
a
this up to the
party.
wall. Right. Matter of fact, go over to the supermarket and pick up my catering order. Here go the money, or it's already
That
paid
is
for.
true, Diva.
The people got
No,
to help
and I
you
agree with
out.
that too, but it seemed like nothing was done. Trust me, Diva, I'm always the one that get there early, and I'm always the one that, hey, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? I'm that person. But come on, everybody was there at the time. We talk about a few people coming early.
And you know what? She did live hard, so she should have been ready. I'm gonna give that to you.
Can
But
I say
Sebastian,
something?
what was you going to say?
First of all, I want to respond to Canelo about
You know
Kenya.
what? We ain't doing this, Sebastian.
Listen, queens do not feed heifers, studs, or peasants. That's what servants are for. And that's what they get up and do it themselves. Number one. Second of all, Sonya is a 4-time Olympic gold medalist. If she's a runner, she's a track star, I'm pretty sure she could get her parties set up correctly. She can definitely get them set up correctly. It's just that she's probably lazy and probably low budget and doesn't know, probably low budget.
Sebastian, we ain't gonna be dealing with your shade all night. I'm just letting you know.
Like, we're not gonna act like this was okay. This was not okay. Her party was not okay. It was not okay. It really was not.
Okay,
Y'all ain't
so
coming
wait,
for
hold on,
me.
guys. Hold on, guys. So let me add. Hold on now. Let me add. Lisa, what are you doing there?
Oh
Okay. Let me add this to the conversation. So Sandra
Wait,
and her
wait a minute.
husband.
Wait a minute. Can
Yeah,
I say something with this?
of
All right.
course you can.
So obviously, Sonya is sharing mortgage with 5 other adults. so she could not afford a
All
she
right,
couldn't
Don. Now I agree with that. I agree
I was
with
trying to
that.
read
All
that.
right.
she couldn't
Everybody be quiet
afford
so we can hear.
she
Everybody be
couldn't
quiet so we can
she
hear. Go
couldn't
ahead.
afford a party planner, so she did go to Dollar General and Family Dollar to get her decorations and balloons and string cheese, and so obviously if the setup was last minute, her AA and AAA batteries didn't even work, to set up
Ouch.
the camera so Sheree could take pictures,
Oh my God.
for her birthday party. I thought she had to get the pictures delivered at the 1 hour picture, you know. So, we have to take that into consideration. And the reason I'm going this hard at her is because she has shaded everybody in her confessionals
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm,
sitting with
mm,
Marlo, you know, in
mm,
the after show.
Hmm.
She hasn't done
mm.
that to anybody's face, but she's been an entire lapdog this
Exactly.
entire season.
And we drag
She
Garcelle
has.
into that, but we don't drag Sonya.
No,
Wait,
Yeah.
Sebastian.
hold on,
No.
guys.
She
Hold
does
on,
that.
hold
So
on.
so
Finish
we
your thought.
so
Go
so
ahead.
we're gonna give Sonya her proper due because that birthday party was an S show. So we're gonna give her her proper due right now.
All right,
I
all
always
right.
give him
On
a proper
on
due.
that note, it definitely was, and she does shade people in the confessionals and after the fact. She is a flip flopper. She has not found her way.
Clout.
She doesn't know who to truly be friends with. Sonya is messy. Sebastian, I see you holding back. What is it that you want to say?
She's a
Tread
clout
lightly.
chaser. She's a
Huh?
clout. She's a clout chaser. We forgot that. You forgot that when you were saying what she is.
Hmm.
Um, she's probably gonna be a side piece in her own marriage soon.
Oh goodness. Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
hold on, Sebastian.
Yes. I
Hold,
said what I said.
yo, hold on, Sebastian.
Said
Hold
what I
on,
said.
Sebastian. Now I will say this. Now hold on, everybody. I will say this. Sandra and her husband Ross are a really cute couple. I'm going to snatch Ducey up. Ducey is the cutest
Yes,
kid.
he
He's
is.
adorable, and his little cousin is adorable too. But Ducey is Ducey's going to be a whole problem when he get older. He's an adorable kid. I absolutely love him. He's messy. He's running that household, but I do love Ducey. I think Sonya and Ross are a cute couple. And you see next week that Ross is going to stand up and say, "Not my wife," pretty much, okay? Not under my watch. But anyway, they was in the house, and you are right, Don. They are sharing. She is sharing a mortgage with several other people. On that note, the party could have been better. I will agree on
I
that.
mean, yeah,
So,
okay. This probably was a last minute. Okay,
uh-huh.
this probably was a last minute thing. Say,
No, Lisa.
okay, no. I said, let's play Deaf Africa for a minute. Let's play Deaf
Okay.
Africa for a minute. She
I
probably
listen.
gonna have to say, so, okay. I'm letting y'all come up to my house, but I also figure out it will be Shuaib's birthday. Let me throw a little something small for Shuaib's birthday. Okay, let me tell you something. So she probably went to the dollar store. To the Dollar Tree store and bought all that stuff because, like you said, she's just sharing the mortgage. I thought like you said, she should get an A for effort. You know what I'm saying? She should get an A for effort. You know what I'm saying? She put some. It didn't go right. It didn't go as planned. Because King kept saying that food was dry. She said she needs something to dry that stuff down with. So the food was
See,
dry.
now that's the problem, and that's what I'm saying. Even if it was last minute, even if she knew they was coming that weekend, she still could have at least had used Thursday or Friday. She could have planned that out. She is not like she's one of us where we have to, do months in advance to plan stuff. She does have money. She could have went out and said, okay, we got a party come this Saturday. I just need this, this, and this. She could have had all that planned out. They would have got her a cake really quick. She could have had a chef come cook. She could have went and got party decorations earlier that morning. Regardless if it was last minute, it was still trash.
Yeah, and I
Sonya,
Even
gotta
your
agree
birthday
too
girl
birthday,
could be
because
hold on,
trash.
you
guys.
talking
Hold on,
about
guys. Hold
she
on.
got
Go ahead, Buzz.
money.
Go ahead, Buzz.
No, I was just about to say, you made a good point. She got money, but even without having as much money as she got, again, I'm one of the people that come early. So I've helped plan stuff, and you can still party and make stuff good on a budget and even at the last minute. Let's say, I don't know how many days in advance you invite these people over, but come on, you got enough money to get some good food, good DoorDash, good takeout, like from a good restaurant if that's what you want to do. Just some good takeout food to make the food good. And like you said, it's so many people that could have threw some decorations together at the last minute. Like, even if she got 3 days in advance, I think she could have did it.
Mm-hmm.
All
Because
right,
I've
she
done it.
tried though, because she had the 360 booth. But let's move on. We got
That
to
didn't
go
work.
to
It broke.
That
It
didn't
yes.
work.
broke. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Jamaican food was catered, MA said, okay. Somebody's agreeing with you, Buzz, right? And somebody else said maybe perhaps she should have ordered stuff from Amazon. I think that she wasn't prepared and ready, and she didn't really get that much help from the people in her house, so she had to do what she had to do. So let's go on to this scene with Drew and Ralph, right?
Oh
So
God.
Drew is doing a bit too much, and I'm gonna go around so we can hear what everybody has to say. Okay. So after I finish describing this scene, I will come to you and hear your piece. So Drew and Ralph are in their house, right? Drew is has her program Drop It with Drew. The problem I have with Drop It with Drew and Drew is the fact that every time you turn around, she's doing some type of weight loss gimmick. Okay. Because she said to her husband, I'm drinking this lemonade. I was taking it as it wasn't just any regular lemonade. It was some type of probably lemonade drink to help her lose weight. Come on, Drew. You have Drop It with Drew. You have a whole meal plan. Why aren't you utilizing that meal plan and doing some squats and I guess some what do you call it, some curls or something to get your life together, okay?
And
But
crunches.
anyway, she's sitting there with her husband talking about that. Then she talks about this adoption of Josiah, right? Here's my problem I have with that, and I'll go around and see what y'all think in a minute. My problem I'm having with that is the boy has a father. And at some point in your life, right, you chose that man, you laid down with that man, and you had a baby with that man. You can't blink your eyes 3 times and make this man disappear and just make Ralph his father. Ralph is doing the right thing. Ralph is like, listen, I spoke to his biological father. His biological father is not with this. I should adopt just Josiah. So I'm not going to adopt him. But listen, I am still his father. I'm in this house. I'm going to make sure he's good. He told you, as your husband, look to me as the lead. I'm going to make sure that Josiah is okay. So let go of this piece of paper, me adopting him. We cannot do that. He has a father, and we're going to leave it the way it is, but he's going to be okay. So he's writing this book about co-parenting, right? And so far, yes, Sheila, Ralph is thoughtful, right? And yes, you cannot force a man to adopt your son. He has a dad, and I don't know if Ralph is any better. Doesn't seem to be interested in adopting. I think that he probably would do was in jail. Is his name on the birth certificate? You know what? But just because you go to jail, right? That doesn't mean that's the end of your story, right? Your worst mistake is not your whole life, right? So I do respect Ralph for that, right? For acknowledging like this man he has a father. So Eva's situation from the Real Housewives of Atlanta was a little bit different. Her baby daddy was a little, crazy, so to speak. We heard some things, so that was a different situation. But in this situation, we can respect at least me what Ralph is trying to say, right? So the book person comes over. What was she, the editor or whatever she is? She comes over. They're talking about the book. Drew still is feeling some type of way, right? Because she doesn't know about the book. She's not going to write the forward because she doesn't feel comfortable and included right now. Girl, this is your man. This is your husband. He's writing a book. Sit your butt down in front of that laptop and write the forward and support him so y'all can make some money off of this book. You sit here talking about what you really upset about is the fact that the little man is not about to be adopted. Get out your bag of feelings, support your husband, write the forward, read the book, and get your life together. I'm going to stop there and we'll go to Sebastian first. What do you think about this Drew and this Ralph scene? Her drinking this lemonade and she's supposed to be dropping it with Drew, her own program. And the fact that, she's pissed that Ralph is not about to adopt Josiah. I hope I'm
Okay,
saying his name right. Go ahead.
his
Yeah.
name is Josiah. You did say it right. First
Okay.
of all, Drew needs to stop doing the fad diets because you're misleading. You're giving people hope that it's not gonna work. Because those fad diets, they only get rid of some of the weight, and then as soon as you return regularly, you gain them all again. She needs to stop with that
Mhm.
and actually do drop it with Drew and stop with the mommy makeovers. She probably have had more done. Just saying. And I think I like Ralph in terms of fatherhood. I think Ralph is a great father. He may be a horrible husband, going to Tampa and everything, but he's a great father. I will
Mhm.
say that about Ralph. And he's right. He literally can't adopt Josiah. There's gonna be a whole battle in court. Like look at how things ended up with Eva Marcille and her husband with Marley's dad. It was a whole big drama in court thing. He probably doesn't want to go through that whole process and make a child go through that traumatizing thing. Marley was very little when this happened, but Josiah's in like almost like 7, 8, I think. So he probably doesn't want to do all that. So I don't blame him for not wanting to adopt him anymore and respecting his father's wishes. But the thing is, the father, if you know you're not going to be in your child's life and everything, you might as well just give up your parental rights because he probably knew Ralph for the more time than his actually biological father, and he probably does call Ralph his dad. So the father needs to give up his parental rights if he's going to be.
Whoa. Whoa.
He
Whoa.
needs to give up
Sebastian,
his
really?
he
Whoa.
needs to give up his parental rights because you're not taking care of this child. You're a convicted felon that probably seen him once in what 2 years. So you need to give up your parental rights. Let someone who really loves him. I'm not saying you don't love him, but let someone who's being affectionate towards him have him as his child. And what else? The
I'm
book,
giving
Drew
Sebastian
needs
a
to
side
write
eye.
that forward. Okay, Drew, every housewife has had a book or something done. I have not seen Drew done anything. Drop it with Drew. She didn't even do that. I need to see Drew do something of her own. She didn't. She didn't. It's not funny. It's sad. Drew needs to do something of her own.
All right, Sebastian, let me move on to Buzz because Sebastian, you killing me right now. This man needs to give up his parental rights. Whoa. But Buzz, what do you think about
Mm.
this Ralph and Drew situation?
Well, I grew up in from a divorce. My parents were divorced. Matter of fact, they got divorced when I was like 8 years old. And I've had a stepmother and a stepfather. So I've dealt with this whole situation. Now, my situation was a little different because both my parents felt like that. Like Tamika has a mother, Tamika has a father. Okay, I just said my real name, so go with that anyway. But anyway, so they were, but again, both my parents were in my life. So everybody knew their place. Like, my stepfather was amazing. And he was my stepfather. I lived with him from 11 till I graduated from high school. So, and then my stepmother was always in my life. When I went over every weekend, I went to see her every weekend, just like I would see my dad. But again, it's a little different because the baby father is not in the life. But I do feel like if Ralph wants to respect the father, there's nothing wrong with that because I mean he's not saying he doesn't want to be there for Josiah. He's just saying, hey, he has a father. I'm still gonna be there. I'm still gonna support him. But I'm not gonna step on this man's toes. Maybe he does want to try to work on his relationship. We don't know what type of man to man talk they had to make him feel like, you know what? I'm going to step away, not necessarily step away, but I'm going to not step on his toes. They could have had a man to man talking. He probably is trying to do right. We don't know.
Right. Okay, thank you, Buzz. Don, what do you think about this Ralph and Drew situation?
You can't drop kibble and then get mad when you attract a dog.
Oh, darn.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So
Yeah, I'm
let's
trying to tell you. I'm trying
because her son's father is in jail, but she laid down with him.
Yes,
So let's start there.
right.
He's
He's
still
actually out now, though. He's actually
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
But
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say
Well,
he
okay,
out.
so he's out. He is still and forever will be that boy's father.
Amen.
There's absolutely no replacement of
Right.
that. Ralph
Okay.
did absolutely the right thing by discussing that with Josiah's father first,
Yes.
because he would have, Josiah's dad would have been in court and said, absolutely not. I don't care what I have done in my past. I'm here and I'm going to be his dad. If I have to see him for 1 day a week, 1 day a month, I'm going to be in his life, some
Mm-hmm.
form of fashion. If it's FaceTime, I'm going to be in his life, some form of fashion. Ralph did absolutely right. Drew needs to get
Mm-hmm.
her life together.
Mm.
You can't
I
force
agree.
somebody to adopt, somebody else's child.
Mhm.
Right.
No court said that he was an unfit father.
Right.
Mhm.
No court said that.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to.
See, here's the thing, right? You said it best. You can't drop kibble, attract the dog, and then say, "Well, why is this happening to me?" Right?
Mm.
So you know what? I had a friend that said, me and my girlfriend was complaining, whatever, this, that, and the other, and he said, "But you chose him. This was your decision. This is
Mm.
who you decided to be with at the time. So
Mm.
you got to woman up and deal with the decisions that you made." But like Don said, no matter what, this is still his father. It's his
Mhm.
father. And when that man came to visit them, I forgot, it was her first season on the show. It was cringeworthy the way she was saying old daddy and new daddy. So she's playing a role into how close this child can be or not be to his biological father. I think that she wants to erase this man out of history.
You got to
And it's
remember,
not
she did
right.
that too, Diva. She
It's
did
not
that
right.
too.
She wants to erase him out of history because when he came and they met, he didn't seem like he was this horrific, bad person. He
No.
lived in another state. So she can still
Incarcerate.
foster a good relationship with Josiah's father and say, listen, your father did something wrong that put him away for a little bit. He's out now. In this household, we're all going to be a family, but you can still get to know your dad. You can talk to your dad. You can FaceTime your dad. With the way we have electronics now, he can still know his dad and perhaps meet that side of his family. I think it's dead wrong. What we have to understand is, and I speak for the woman right now, right? As females, what we have to understand is that, you know what? Because the man no longer wants us, because we no longer get along with that man, it is not fair that we cut them off, our child off from that side of their history and their family. So my thing is, somebody said Clarity 29. You saying she did say that. Tell me what you talking about, what she did say. Thank you. So what I'm saying is that you have to let this man, the child, be connected to that part of his family. Because at the end of the day, even if Ralph were to adopt him, even if this were to go down, at the end of the day, biologically, he's not connected to Ralph and the family. They can treat him that way, but he has a family with his dad. This is a 50-50 deal when you have a child. They got a mother, they got a
Right.
father. Even if the father or the mother ends up being a crackhead, drug addict, whatever, that's still that child, mother or father. Don, I don't know if you finished.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to
I'm done.
jump in.
I'm
Okay,
done.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So,
But David, you're right about that. I forgot about how she was playing that old daddy and new daddy. She really has been trying to erase her baby daddy from that child's life, and you cannot do that. You
you
can't.
can't do that.
Can I say
You can't
something?
do that. Yes, yes. Of course, Sebastian, go ahead.
Okay. I grew up in a home with both my parents. Luckily, I did. But I grew up where I grew up. A lot of the kids in my neighborhood, most of them did not have both of their parents in their house. A lot of them didn't. and some did have step parents, and their step parents did look after them very well.
Hmm.
One thing I will say is blood does make you a biological dad, but it does not make you a father. It does not
Hmm.
make you a father. And if this man hasn't been in Josiah's life from the moment of birth to the moment of his now, and the thing is, he actually went into prison while Josiah was like 3 or 4, I think. So that's another situation. If he was never involved in his life at all, but he's probably changed in prison, but it's still not showing up in his life. I'm just saying, give up, you give up your rights if you know you're not going to take care of this child. If you
But
know,
Sebastian, though, we don't know that this man is not trying.
Right,
We don't know that
Sebastian.
this man is not trying. And here's the thing. If he was like Block from Candy's baby
That's a different
daddy,
story.
it may be a different story because Block was being very messy. And to me, he never really tried to take the opportunity to really get to know and love Riley. That's a whole nother story. I don't know that to be 100% so with Drew's baby's father, like her child's father. I don't know that to be 100% so. I think Drew just wants him out the picture. I think Drew is being a little messy about it. I could be wrong, but I think from what I see, she's the one being messy, and Ralph is trying to neutralize things, right? And say, no, listen, the dad doesn't want this to go down. I'm not going to do this to him. And maybe Drew doesn't want to do the adoption. I mean, Ralph doesn't want to do the adoption. I don't know. But if he's respecting the father, we got to give him some credit for that because we would be pissed at him if he wasn't. Um, who did I not give a chance? Camilla, I'll let you go and then we'll speak to Lisa.
Now, I'm a product of stepfather and a mother. Now,
Mhm.
most of y'all probably do know my story because I've told this. My sperm donor did not, when he left us in 1987, he was not in my life until I turned 18.
Mm.
Then my stepfather, I did ask him to adopt me, but he came and told me, and it was funny. He was like, "I'm not," because see, when I asked him, I was 18. I was like, "Would you adopt me?" He was like, "You're 18. You're a grown man. I'm not adopting you." But if I was younger, he probably would have done it. But anyway, my point being, we don't know what Ricky is really doing. Ricky, like you said, is in another state. If you look at the whole situation, Drew was blocking that man from when she first came on last season. She really did not want Josiah to know that man. Josiah should be about 10 or 11 now because, no, he was 9 last season, so he should be 10 this year. You see how she was telling him like old daddy, new daddy, and she's trying to erase Ricky. When the man came onto the scene last year, Josiah actually loved the man. He did not. He sat there and talked to that man. They had like a little bond. So Ralph actually did the right thing to sit down and talk to the man. I can see if he was, being, like my no, my sperm donor wasn't in my life, left me at the age of 7, didn't want to come back. Now I'm 42. If he was like that, then that's a different story. But we don't see that. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I have not heard anything about, Ricky not being there for, Drew's son. The only thing I know is Drew is trying to block him from having a relationship so she can have this perfect blended family with Ralph. I mean, make it make sense. I'm done.
Yes, all right. Lisa, chime in. What is your I keep muting you because you have a lot of background noise, but what is your perspective on this
One
situation?
thing of it is, okay, I remember I heard Sebastian had said, if you're not gonna support your child, you need to give up your rights. Number one, he will have the Zia father will have to give up his rights to that child and say, I don't want nothing to do with him. I give everything over to Ralph. He's not gonna do that. And I do remember on the first season, like New Daddy, Josiah did not know nothing about his biological father. He thought, that Ralph was his biological father until the daddy came back in the picture. Now, on the other hand, now like you said, looking in. Now we looking in because we don't know what we looking at the picture. We looking in. We don't know, like you said, we don't know nothing what's going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And you is right when you lay down with these men like this. My mom had kids by two different men. I had my own daddy, and my sister and my three siblings had they died before I was born. So now one of those men was never in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Was never in the picture. Never about eating bologna. Okay.
Lisa,
No.
hold on 1 second. Clarity 29. If you're talking about when Josiah met his dad, yeah, Josiah didn't want to have anything to do with his dad.
It was Ralph
I
and
think he was nervous. I think that, and I also think kids take clues from their parents, right? So I think that as a parent, if you can tell your child, like, it's okay, get to know him, give him a chance, your child will do that. Especially if you are the primary parent and you was there all of that time, you can talk to your child and say, listen, your dad did ba 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 ba, but now he's here. Let's see if we can talk to him together and let's have a conversation. I think kids definitely take clues from their parents. And I just say, from what I saw, I feel like she could have done better in that situation. But he did not seem like an arrogant, nasty guy. He seemed like a good guy. Listen, good people can go to jail. Like, you can mess up. One mistake and you can end up in jail. Doesn't mean that you're a derelict and the worst person in the world. Give me so Lisa, go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah,
And
like I was saying before, you know, my dad was never in my life. My mama never. One thing I can't say is my mama never talked about neither one of these men negatively. Even though they weren't in, she never talked about them negatively. So that's why I'm just saying that. So Ralph did do the right thing. I do agree with y'all on that. Ralph did do the right thing. When he spoke to the father, and the father said, "No, I really don't want to give him my wife. I still want to have a relationship with my son." Okay, and I really do think that probably even before this man even got out of jail, Ralph and Drew probably had that conversation about him adopting Josiah. But now since the father's out, okay, okay, so no, we're not gonna do that. So I do agree with y'all on that. So, but do I mean I'm trying to understand where Drew coming from as a mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to. I'm fully
well,
understand
Drew said,
coming
not to
from.
cut you off, Lisa, let me jump in. Drew said that there's no book on this thing, and she's absolutely correct, right? We got to do the best we can with the information we have at the time. But what I'm saying is, in terms of Drew, I think Drew is pushing and pushing and pushing this adoption thing. It's almost like she's shoving it down Ralph's throat. And I think she has to sit back, think about it for 1 minute. And at the end of the day, this father is not saying, I don't want this kid. If he was saying, I didn't want this kid and we couldn't find him, it might be a different story. Give me a minute, because I can't see your whole name. I'm so sorry. But I think it says, Couch, you have entered the building. What do you want to add to this conversation?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, it's Coach Rachel, Real
Coach
Solutions,
Rachel.
but
Okay,
um,
thank you.
no worries. I just wanted to give my commentary on it with Drew and I'm 53 years old now, and being someone who was adopted and everything didn't go through until I was like 15. Um, and just to fast forward up to now with Drew's situation, I think people are missing the fact that Ralph is a man talking to another man, and you're dealing with a young man, meaning the son.
Mhm.
So, just like you said, Diva, and I love your show, by the way. I'm always watching you on Sherelle, and I follow you on your show too. Um,
Thank you.
you're welcome. But yeah, he's the fact that I think she does need to back up. It's one of those things where sometimes moms can get into their personal feelings, and you see that your husband is now involved, whatever, whatever. And it's like, okay, I want you to just adopt this child. And being a mother of two sons, when my husband and I split, my kids are in their mid and late 20s, but when they were younger, like 9 and 13, their dad and I split after a 17-year marriage. I can't imagine his new wife coming in and saying, "Oh, by the way, I want to adopt your sons." No way. There's no way, and suppose something did happen. Thank God that wasn't the case. But if something happened and I went to jail or something like that, and I'm a decent person and law-abiding citizen, and like you said, things can happen. Bad things happen to good people all of the time. We know that, especially being melanated. You can go away for anything. So when you come out, what are you supposed to just give your seed up? A good man is not going to do that. And two good men will talk to each other. So for Marlo, first of all, to bring something so sensitive up, and then when it came back to her, it's like, why would you even bring that up talking to Drew in that type of setting about her kids?
Right.
I mean, about the adoption situation, something very sensitive. It was just messy, but I think they're doing the right thing. I think Ralph needs to back off, because you hear dads talk about it all the time. That's one of the reasons why sometimes they don't want to be with a woman who has another child, is because they don't want any drama. And if they can keep it peaceful and civil like they seem to be doing, I feel that, what's his name, Josiah?
Yeah.
It's to me, he's just going to have more love. He got two dads.
Yes.
He's going to really love him. It takes a village, and it's a beautiful thing to see men stepping up. So the fact that you can have two fathers who can love you very much, I don't think that at all it's an issue where, oh, he's going to feel slighted, he's going to feel this. If anything, he should feel empowered if both of them are doing what they need to do. It doesn't matter who it is on paper.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's who shows up.
Can I say something?
Exactly.
Yes, go ahead, Sebastian.
Okay, first of all, I'm just going to say this man was not a good man. This man was not a good man. Yes, he was melanated, but this man was not a good man considering what he went to.
You got to prove, Sebastian.
Yes,
what did he go to prison for?
Yeah, what did he go to prison for? Because I didn't know.
Drug trafficking, smuggling $4 million worth of cocaine in a private jet.
Ricky.
Was it proven?
Yes, it was.
But you know what? Let's go with this. Hold on, Sebastian. Let's go with, yes, it was proven. Let's go with all that. And listen, drugs devastate communities. So I'm not in agreement with that, right? But what I'm saying to you is that we all fall short. What we fall short of, it doesn't matter in the sense that, because the way I fell short, the community can understand it and agree with it. And the way somebody else falls short, everybody's like, oh no, shame on that person. They're the worst person in the world. No. Right. So I don't see that. The other problem is, but we don't have time to go this deep, right? Because we stuck at scene one here. But the thing is that when it comes to drugs and all of this in the community, it also is a mindset that some people fall into, and they end up going that way. And the reason why they end up going that way is not always because they're a bad person. I grew up in the inner city. I grew up in what they want to call the hood, okay? I grew up in a single parent household, but I always knew my father. So, and I always went every summer. I always went to my grandparents' house, but it was my father's parents, not my mom's parents, right? So although I didn't grow up in a household with my father, he still was involved. I still went to his people's homes, and they still treated me accordingly. So what I'm saying is that you cannot be together with the other person, but if you got two adults who can be adults, y'all can still raise that family so it won't be so quote unquote broken. So what happens a lot of times in the inner cities, when you have these one parent households and you have the parent that is there struggling, they maybe have to work two jobs. And now these kids are, for lack of a better word, not problems of the parents, they're raising themselves because the mother got to work the night shift and then maybe she got to get up and work the day shift. So then you maybe have the one sibling watching the other siblings, and then one sibling ends up in those streets, and the streets are giving them this love that they are missing, and then they end up selling drugs and going here. You know, we can go on with this for a long time. So everybody that ends up in those streets and selling those drugs, I have cousins that did it. I have cousins that went to jail for it. I have family
Yeah,
members
me too.
that done
Yeah.
went
Me
down
too.
for this situation. And what I'm saying is all of them that end up behind bars, they were not bad people. They got
Right.
in bad
That's so
situations
true.
because
Right.
they needed the love that they felt they didn't get or wasn't getting. And then, you know, the other thing with children that don't have both their parents in their home, sometimes they make up stories in their head as to why the other parent is missing or not there. If you
Right.
have the right parent there, they would tell you, like, listen, and I'm not saying glorify the other person and their whole hot mess, but if you have the right person there, like, you know, in my family, I don't care if we had a drunk uncle or whatever. When they came over Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, you shut your mouth. You don't be
Yeah, we have to
talking about
respect
your
them.
drunk
Mm-hmm.
uncle.
Yeah.
He's going
Yep.
to sit
Respect.
at this table and eat dinner with
Mhm.
the rest of us.
Yep.
And when they
Mhm.
go back out there and do the drunk and the drugging and all
Mhm.
that, it's okay. But that is still your uncle. And you're going to
Yep.
respect them like
Yep.
it is your uncle. So what I'm just saying here
Yep.
is that you don't have to tell the person like, oh, I'm going to send you over there and you're going to be in a drug infested environment just because it is
Right.
your uncle. But you can tell them, listen, your uncle, your aunt, your whoever, they got a problem right now, but we're still going to love them. We're still going to pray for them, and so forth and so on. I'll tell this one last story. I had a cousin on drugs, very, very bad, very bad. And my uncle used to tell us, you cannot let her in the house because what's going to happen is when you let her in, this is back in, I'm telling y'all, I'm aging myself here. This is back in the VCR days and the TV days. Like, they would, drug addicts, they would steal these things and they would give them to whoever to get drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But me and my cousin would let her in the house, okay? And you know, when my uncle left for work, because she would just say, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna whatever, whatever. And she did shower and just eat something and go about her business, and we was good. Well, one day it must have been a bad day. She needed her stuff. Well, she stole everything that quick, that
Yeah.
quick. And then also too, the people would say, "Oh, y'all just dead wrong. You're letting your sister, your cousin sleep on the grass in front of the building, so forth and so on." So I don't want to go on a rant, but all I want to say is this: that every person that does a bad thing, they're not horrific people, and people do deserve a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Sebastian, he probably did do all of that stuff,
I agree. He
but
does.
maybe he learned his lesson. And
Agree.
That's the
does
baby.
that mean that he cannot be a father to his child because he messed up back in 1919 and now it's 1950 and I'm making numbers up? Now he can't, for the rest of his life, he can't be a part of his children's life.
I agree. I agree with you on that
And
stance.
not to mention that son will grow up and resent him.
But one thing
But no
is,
one know what really happened. Nobody know the full story.
and
Right.
What
we
he
don't
did and did
know.
not do. We don't know extent. Like Eva. I was against Eva at first when she wanted Michael to adopt her son, but this dude live in LA. He's crazy. I'm from LA. He was
Right.
crazy. He was a piece of hot mess. We don't Drew really wanted her heart. She don't want this boy around his dad for some reason. We could judge all we want what this show is about. We don't know how stiff that who he hangs around with, who his people are about. We won't know until we find that information. Sebastian pulled up more than I pulled up, but I knew he was bad news. I didn't know that much what Sebastian was saying. When it comes to our children, we are their protectors. We're
Right.
gonna do whatever
No,
necessary to
I
protect
agree
our
with that
children.
too. But you also gotta
So
understand. I agree with that too. I definitely agree with that. But it's something. First of all, Diva, you spoke a word because everything you said, you really just described my childhood. I was like, wow, she described my whole
Mine
childhood.
too.
my brother
Mine
was a
too.
Right?
crackhead and
Okay.
my
So,
stepsister.
so
But you give
listen.
it benefit of the doubt.
But listen, when you talked about Block 2 in the beginning of when you were talking, it reminded me of how he said it in his own stuff. No matter how much he go in here and pop up and want to drag Candy and want to kind of shade his own daughter, which is Riley. He's always admitted that Kandi never kept him away. Now, as you said, and he should honestly be kept away because he obviously didn't really care. But she still, for the fact that that was her father, I'm going to leave the door open. Now, if Riley grew up and saw what kind of man he was, now maybe that's her decision to kind of distance herself, but she was old enough to make that decision. But remember, as Riley was when Riley was younger, she was trying to keep that door open, trying to convince her, like, hey, this is your father. You got to, at least love him for where he's at. Even if you know he's not all the way right and how he does things, love him the way where he's at. So sometimes you do got to, you can't spoil. I don't want to say spoil. You can't poison your child's mind against their parent, because trust me, they're going to see anyway. They're going to see anyway.
Can I say something right quick, Diva?
Yes, of course you can.
This comment that you got on the screen now, as a former CPS worker, you can't take chances. Let me tell you something, CPS worker. You all let these mothers smoke weed in their homes and keep their kids. So so you can kill that right now. Let me say something right quick about this father, Josiah's dad. So street pharmacists are some of the smartest people in this country. If he was to use his skill, he could take Drew to court and drag her for filth for taking his child out of the state, because it's absolutely illegal to do that. Well, he could get the best lawyer that he could absolutely afford and get her back into the state where he is right now. He can prove that he's really rehabilitated and get that child back into the state where he is. It is good that Ralph is kind of pacifying this. Because if he really wanted to be nasty, he could.
Why don't he?
I want to say one thing.
If he want that child, why don't he?
Go ahead.
I want to say one thing. Do y'all remember the whole thing that Eva went through with Kevin McCall?
She went through
That was the prime example of a man saying he does not want anything to do with his child. That's why Michael ended up adopting Marley, because he came out and said he didn't want anything to do with her. Now he wants to backtrack and say he wants to see his daughter. You can't do that. Once you said that I release all my rights and parental rights, you're done. So that's Ralph. Ricky has not said that yet. Ricky has not thrown his son to the wayside. We don't know if he sees his son on off the show. We don't know that. We don't know.
But here's the thing, Canelo. Let me just add this really quickly. If this man was that bad, I don't think Ralph would be okay with it. I think Ralph would have been like, nah, you know what? I spoke to him. He off the chain. We're going to try to move forward with XYZ. But Ralph spoke to this man, and plus we saw the man. I think if he was so out of control and crazy, when we saw him, I think that, it would have been a little bit different. But let me see, GAC, we all had a family member or friend on drugs like that. But you are right. Everyone deserves a second chance. But them crackheads are fast and sick.
She ain't lying. She is not lying. Miss Gigi ain't lying.
We ain't lying. So hold on one second, because a lot of people have entered the building.
The 80s and 90s was a time, like you said, the VCRs and your TVs will be gone in a minute.
Listen. Rachel has entered the building. Candace has entered the building. Erica Marie, you have entered the building. I'm gonna let y'all speak real quick before we move on to the next subject. This is really a good topic, because I think unfortunately, I don't like it, but I think unfortunately a lot of people grow up in single parent homes. And I think when you go to blend a family, it's not easy. There's no book on it. And you do have to, tread lightly with how you treat the children, that were before the previous, if y'all two come together and then y'all have kids, but there was some kids before that. A prime example, and I felt
A
some
little
kind of
high.
way. Right, I'm gonna let you speak 1 second. A prime example, when I felt some type of way when I saw the Serena and Venus movie. The mother had a couple of kids before she had Serena and Venus with the dad. And he had other kids also. And I think it's messy, or it appeared messy, even though they said the other kids did well with their life. I think they doctors or what, I don't know, whatever. But how do you teach the two new kids tennis and you raising them up to be tennis stars? And I got three other kids in this house. Now, see, I would have held that down differently. I would have had 5 tennis stars, but that's me. But that's where stuff can get a little messy. But I want Shannon, I don't know, I think, did you get a chance to speak?
Yeah, briefly, but I'm listening.
Okay. Rachel, I'll let you speak now.
Yeah, I had left out and came back in, but yeah, I definitely feel again that if they with Josiah, right? Is it Josiah?
Yes.
Josiah. Yeah, they first of all, Drew did lay down with dad. She made a baby with him, so he can't be all that bad. She saw something in him, and even if he changed, just like you said, we don't know what happened in jail. Has he been rehabilitated or whatever the case may be? For whatever reason, he still wants a relationship with his son. So for that
Right.
reason, you do have to go a different route. Add some therapy, some counseling, some coaching in there. And again, most of the times, again, being an adopted child, you don't know what's on paper until you get older. You have no
Right.
idea unless people bring it to your attention. If that parent is treating the children, all of them the same, you don't know. I didn't know if I was adopted or not adopted other than my aunt telling me. And I was like, oh, okay. All I knew was that she loved me just like she loved everybody else. She never treated me differently or anything like that. So it was all okay. When you start bringing all of these adult issues and bringing it to the child, yeah, you got to explain, okay, you have a dad who wants to see you. He doesn't need to know all about the ins and outs and all of that, as long as Ralph still treats him the same. Because what happens as children get older, you will try to play both sides. You will start manipulating them and all of that kind of stuff. And if they did go against him, he could resent Ralph for saying, hey, you took me away from my dad, or hey, you did this, or it just gets complicated, which is why if a parent does not back off and they say, hey, I want a relationship, Ralph is doing the right thing. Let me have a conversation to see where this man's head is. And if his head is saying, hey, I want to build a relationship with my son, just tread lightly and see where he is and just throw some coaching and counseling in there just so that everybody can get along and treat him just like you treat the daughter or the other kid.
Exactly.
Hey,
Exactly.
can I say
Candace,
something, Diva, right quick? I'm gonna say
yes, you
something
can.
right quick, and then I'm gonna remove myself. You cannot blame Drew. I mean, that man was in jail, so Drew can take him anywhere she want, any state she want him to. You know what I'm saying? He was in jail. You
before he
know
was
what I'm saying?
born.
So she had the right. No, she had the right as the mother to move on with
Hmm.
her life. You know what I'm saying? She had the right to move on with her life, get married, and find somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So she
But
had
she don't have the
every
right to erase the father, though. She can move on and she can get married, and that person could be the stepfather, but she don't have to erase the father.
I
no,
agree with
you're
that.
right. She don't have to race the father though. But like I said before, like I said, I believe this why I believe me looking in. I believe that like Ralph and her both probably had this conversation before dude got out of jail. But now he's out of jail, and I like I said, I do agree with you that he did the right thing as a man. He went and go spoke to the father, and the father said, no, I'm not going to give up my rights to my child. Okay? So Ralph said, no, we're not going to do that. And we're going to move on. And we all going to live a better life. Okay? We're gonna do this thing together. Okay? And so I agree with you on that. But for as while he was in jail, Drew could have had the right to move on. because he right now he can't do nothing for his child. He can't.
She
He
did.
can't.
Okay, but you know what, Lisa?
Diva, can I
Can
say
comment
this?
on it?
Let's put this
Okay, so
into
wait,
let's put this into
okay,
perspective.
go
Let's
ahead.
put this into perspective because this show was good, and I want to get to the last scene.
I need to get to
Oh,
this.
it was.
We need to put this in our brains and plant this and iron it into our brains. Mothers and fathers are on equal playing fields.
Mm-hmm.
Mothers don't have more rights to the child. Fathers don't have more rights to the child. They both have equal rights to their children.
Yep.
Period.
Agree.
Once we iron that on the seals of our brains, then we will come to a mutual understanding.
It was
Right.
not like that though. He chose to do. He chose.
It doesn't matter. It does
Did
not
I say
matter
one
who
thing
went.
that we're
It does
forgetting?
not matter who went to jail
That
because
we're
the mother could have gone to jail and
Yeah.
gotten out, and she would have the same rights to that child.
You
Yeah.
right
Period.
about that. While he was in jail.
Okay, so
Period.
hold on, Lisa. Hold on, Lisa. Lisa, give me 1 second. Hold on. Candace, you're in the building. Say a couple words, and then we got to move on to another scene. But go ahead, Candace.
I'm
What do
just
you
gonna
want
say
to
real
say?
quick.
Yeah.
I'm just loving the whole dynamic of the chat, and I've gone so back and forth with the whole thing, hearing from different people. That all I can say is that for this particular situation, I will have to agree with Ralph. I want to say he has enough insight to say this man's not crazy. He still wants to have a part in his child's life, and I am not going to take that right from him. So that's kind of like the bottom. If the man was nuts like Eva's ex was,
Right.
then you fight. So there's so many, but what I can say is this: the conversation is so good that y'all made me go back and forth. Well, maybe what's going on? Hey.
You know what? Because this is real. This is what they're going through. Is real life.
It's real
Like
life.
it happens. It happens, and
Absolutely.
you know, me as a woman, you have a lot of mothers out there because really deep down they're mad that the man, for whatever reason, no longer wants them. The kid becomes a pawn in the situation.
The pawn part.
And then it gets real ugly. And so the kids should always be at the top of the list, and you got to put your bag of feelings aside and get over it, because I will agree with Don that both parents have equal rights over this child. Erica Marie, you're in the building. What do you want to say?
Oh, I didn't finish. I'm gonna say one more thing.
I agree.
Yes, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second, Erica.
I just
Go ahead,
want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, it makes me look at Drew, and y'all know Drew can be bizarre. I'm sorry, Drew is
Yes, she can.
Yes, she can.
She is.
I love her, but she can be. I
No,
love
she's kind
her.
of off though.
I don't like her at all.
As she wants to be, and it makes me look at her and what her motives. And are you doing what's right for your child? Or are you thinking about yourself? Because she doesn't really, it doesn't sound like she has a valid reason of why she wants this man to give up his rights, is if he's still there and trying to be active in his child's life and whatever the case may be. But she needs to check her own self and what is her, the ramifications of what could happen by trying to snatch your child from the man that you chose, who's out, who wants to be a part of the life, and saying, well, no, but I like this life over here better, and I like this man better for him. That's just not a reason. It's not a reason.
Right. So, Erica, you're in the building. What do you want to add to this conversation?
I pretty much agree. I think Drew is thinking more so about herself and her image and how she wants her family to look, and she's trying to erase her past while you're trying to erase your son, you're trying to erase your past, and you're gonna try to erase your son's past as well. Your son has nothing to do with that. If the man came out of prison and if he reformed, if he's trying to be in his son's life, then he needs to have that right. I do believe though that if he went to jail or she went to jail, he would be able to move the child to whatever state. Like this comment says, the parent that's doing the day-to-day has the most say. I agree with that. But when it comes to a legal standpoint, legally, if I tell you you're not changing my child's name or I'm not giving up my rights for my child to be adopted, then it's just not going to happen. And I don't see how this abusive, mentally, emotionally abusive relationship she in with Ralph is any more better than
But honey, see, you're trying to take us down a whole nother road.
I want to answer what Erica. I want to answer what Erica had to say to that.
I was just about to mention that.
What triggers me is when women get with a guy that got their own toxic behaviors and they try to throw the child on that guy when it's like it's the cop. Like it just don't make sense. So I think that whatever Ralph and that man talked about as men and being a father to that boy, she needs to respect it, and they don't even respect her enough to bring her in on the conversation.
Talk about it.
And then and see, I want to add this. So what about the child? What if Josiah does not want to be adopted?
Talk about it.
And then you're gonna put him in a traumatizing situation because you want him to have the same last name. What if he don't want to be? He may want to keep his last name, but you forcing this on him when he gets older. What if he resents Drew for this?
And I feel like Josiah is too. And I feel like Josiah is too young to even
right
all of that that's going on. And I feel like at the end of the day, and I feel like you can't change history. If he is growing up in a household where his two siblings have the same father and mother, and he has a different father, that's just the reality. That doesn't make it any worse. That doesn't make it bad. He just has a different father. So we got to stop playing make believe. And his father could have some vital information or teach him some good life skills for him not to go down the same path, because at the end of the day, they share the same blood.
Amen. And look, you brought up a good point about him giving up his rights. I was just about to say that. A lot of people talk about, well, we don't know if people want to be in the child's life and all that. He at least put forth an effort to sign that birth certificate. If he didn't sign the birth certificate, she literally could have did whatever she wanted to. Trust me. I got people in my family who has been adopted. Well, my cousin, her stepfather did adopt her. You know why it was so easy? Because her biological father didn't sign that birth certificate. So let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real.
Miss Hughes got it right
there. He came out of prison. He went on a TV show. He went on national TV where that lady could have made his character be out to look like anything, and he still put himself in that situation to be around his child. Because who gets out of prison and then goes on national TV to be judged and ridiculed, and you know everybody's going to be Drew's fan, and so he would get a lot of backlash for that. But he still went anyway, and we don't know what happens behind the scenes. And
no, we don't know. That's why I was saying
if the parent is not out here, if the parent is not out here wilding out, you cannot take nobody's rights away from their kids. Period.
No, he cannot. But what if he don't have his father's last name? Well, if he did sign a birth certificate, that would make more sense.
Because by the time
you want her child to have the same last name as his other siblings. So I do understand that as a mother, believe that.
But you can want your child to have the same last name as the other siblings, but at the end of the day, they ain't got the same daddy. So if you want to guarantee that all your kids have the same last name, don't be having children with multiple men. Otherwise,
come on, drop the mic.
Like I said, I can understand, but I can definitely understand though if he didn't say, well, what if he don't have his daddy last name? He only got Drew last name.
Well, I agree with that.
That don't matter either, because if you want all your kids to have the same last name, have one child father and give them all that man's name, or give all your kids your last name if you never.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. My father or my mom, my dad went to court. My dad told judge said we need to do a blood. No, my dad looked in the judge's face. No, we don't even do no blood. Said that is my child. Okay, and I was born born to my mom last night. But they went to trial and they went to court. My daddy put me in his last name. I'm humiliated.
Well, can I just say this? I agree with the other caller.
Hold on, guys. So this is a very passionate topic. We probably have to do a hot topic day, Canelo, because this can go in several different directions. I'm going to close out this particular topic by saying this, that we all are passionate about it. Y'all can put in the chat on this particular situation, are you Team Ralph or Team Drew? Which one do you understand better? You can put it in the chat.
Team Ralph
or Team Drew, or you could put both, right? But put it in the chat because we're about to move on to the next topic in the next scene. So the next scene is everybody's getting ready to go to Jamaica. What did Sonya say? Boom, 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 whatever she said. Okay, pop, 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 whatever. Okay, we're about to go to Jamaica. Okay, and so everybody had a +1. Well, everybody was able to bring a +1. Kenya's +1 got sick. Marlo brought
Right.
her good friend / florist Adrian, who we have never seen ever until this day. At least I don't remember ever seeing him. Monyetta brought her husband. Okay, Heath is his name. I like him. I like him because he's here for the shenanigans. He was cracking up and laughing. And you know what? See, sometimes you think that when something is happening to you, you think it's the worst thing ever. And Monyetta probably thought when Neo was like leaving her in the dust with her 2 kids, she probably thought it was horrific, but it ended up probably being the best thing that ever happened to her in her life, okay? Because you see what the new wife is going through right now.
Right.
So Sheree brought her friend Michelle. I never seen Michelle before in my life, but okay, fine. She brings Michelle. Sonya comes with her husband. Now, Sonya did redeem herself with this trip. It's a very nice resort. She gave the people gift baskets, and we got to give this up to her. She's extremely thoughtful. Never have I seen any of the other housewives worry about somebody else's birthday so much, but she made sure Kenya's room was all set up nicely for her birthday. Okay,
it's Caribbean hospitality.
Oh, okay. So, Kenya, when you know, and then leave it up to Ross. He forgot his passport, had to go back home to get his passport. Kenya gets there. She meets this man, John. You know, John was here for the shenanigans at the dinner table for a minute, but then it got to be too much for him, and he said deuces. Okay. So they get in there. You know, Kandi's always hungry. Kandi knows she loves her food. Okay. Kandi made sure she got in there and she ate. Drew, of course, came with her husband, Ralph. Okay. The John that Kenya met, he was 37. She says she's good with the younger man. So now let's talk about what happened at this dinner table, which was tragic. Okay. So,
your favorite word.
Yeah, tragic. So Kenya, so Marlo, you know, asked Ralph about, actually Sheree asked Ralph about the book he was writing. They start to talk about that. Drew's all in her feelings, but she's always in her feelings. And then Marlo gets in her feelings because she was adopted. Yo, listen, at a certain age, listen, whatever happened to you in your childhood from birth to 18, all right, maybe shame on your parents, maybe shame on the people that raised you. But from 18 on, if you don't get help, shame on you. You cannot at 50 something, 90 something, you want to blame your whole life on your childhood and what happened way back then. We all been through some stuff, okay? Get help, seek help. So Marlo wants to say to Ralph, how, you know what? Oh my God, you're not going to adopt Josiah. He's going to be traumatized. He's going to think that you don't want him. And she goes on and on. And so Kandi gets in this situation. Okay, Marlo tells Kandi she's not known worldwide, and Kandi loses her natural mind. You know how Kandi gets down, right? Okay, Kandi loses her natural mind. They go back and forth, but you don't want to know what? We're going to give it up for Todd and Kandi because they're a couple and they thick as these. Okay, and Todd came at Marlo in a very nice, nasty, classy way. He pretty much told her, you bought your way into this group. You was a friend to no one. I know everything because I was here behind the scenes. Okay. And that's it. Okay. Right now we got a full stage back here. We got a full stage. I gotta Lisa, do me a favor. Come back in like 10 minutes. Let me take you out, and then you'll come back in because the stage is packed here. Is that okay?
I just see you tomorrow. Okay. I just see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Love you.
Okay, baby.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. Okay.
I'm gonna say my piece about this dinner, then you can drop me too.
Okay, no problem. So let's talk about this scene. So Buzz, you can go first. What do you want to say about this scene?
First of all, my thing is Everybody's saying Marlo making these chicks work for their check. Now, in some aspects, I can agree, but in the 80% of this, no, because you going after people unprovoked. Like, why are you going after Kandi unprovoked? What did she do to you? Now, do I say Kandi? Am I denying that Kandi sometimes talks too much, or sometimes had a candy coated click? You know, they kind of speak for her, or they say that she has, those are right to hide her hand. She can do that from time to time, but she hadn't done that to Marlo. So what is the issue? She's always coming after her. And here's the thing, I'm tired of them talking about Todd, and none of them, I mean, she's been married to Todd longer than all of them been married. The only
Thank
person
you,
that had a
Buzz.
longer marriage was Nene, and Nene's not there anymore.
Thank you, Buzz. You said it.
Thank you, Buzz. Thank you. Smoke, you in the building. What do you want to say?
Uh-oh, smoke. Oh, my God.
This dinner was a hot goddamn mess. From first of all, from Drew putting her drama out with Ralph to Marlo's hoish ass trying to bring up the fact that she was a foster child and that she felt some kind of way, even though she just told her nephews to get the F out of her house. Absolute nerve.
Hold on, wait, Smoke, can I ask you a question, please?
Please do.
Please put a warning sign up when you coming in to drag, because I don't want to fall out the chair.
What do you mean? I'm not dragging. I'm just telling the truth. We all watch the same show.
Don't do that. Put a
Like
warning
literally.
sign.
No, but that's how I was feeling, because granted, it was fun in the beginning of the season when Marlo was like doing her antics, but now I see why Portia had to get into your behind. Eva had to drag you by your non-existent edges, even though you went and got surgery and it's still not there. And now Kandi and her sheepish voice gonna have to cry and drag you at the same time at the reunion.
No, she ain't crying. Hey, look, she not crying. Y'all gotta watch her speak
No,
on it. When I tell you she went the heck in,
no, when
Kandi went the heck in.
When get her high pitched voice, well, she'd be like, I'm frustrated. When she gets into that octave, even though she doesn't use that same octave when she sings, granted, we are here for activated Kandi. I would have loved to see the red hair again, but you know what, we'll do with the braids. The braids is the second coming of activated Kandi. Right. But I can't wait to see this big blow. But like this, it was like horrible. And honestly, Sonya needs to do a better job of like shutting these girls down, be like, you heifers are here on my job's dime, and y'all sitting here making me look a goddamn mess. If y'all don't get yourself together, I'm calling separate cars for y'all, and I'm sending all y'all asses back to the Jamaica International Airport, and y'all can go do this BS in Atlanta. Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Can I go?
All right, Shannon, what do you want to say about this scene?
This was the best episode this season. This was the best.
Got merch, y'all. She got T-shirts that say "Itch I'm worldwide." You know she was gonna turn that into a bag, so now she got T-shirts that say she worldwide.
I ain't mad at her.
I support. I'll buy one.
Go ahead, Shannon.
But this is what I want to say. When Marlo was out of pocket, but when she came to me, she jealous because Kandi has a husband. The thing with Todd and Kandi relationship, we all know that she makes more money than Todd. Any man more she gets with, she's gonna make more money. It don't matter who she gets with. People gonna dog that she takes care of the man. I do know Todd puts in work. If Todd was not with Kandi, he was a regular married one of us. He makes a lot of money in production. His daughter followed his footsteps. I heard she making bank after Todd. Todd is teaching her how to do production. They said his daughter living it up in New York. So people can say what they want about Todd and Kandi. Evidently, she seems to be happy. And I do know Todd put in work. Now, if he was a lazy man, just not running old lady and not helping her production, her plays, we just say he a lazy ass so-and-so. This man do work, but Kandi shines because she has the money. So she's going to shine, and he's going to let her shine because she's more popular than Todd. So I think we should give him a break sometimes.
No, I give him a break. Kandi, Todd loves Kandi. Okay, yeah. I do believe that. Erica Marie, what do you want to say about this scene?
I've been trying. Every week, Marlo just make it harder and harder for me. And this week, I think I just had to let her go. I do think Kandi was inserting herself into the conversation, though. She did, because if Marlo was having it out with Drew, but then I think Marlo got nasty, and and Kandi decided she wanted to come in and kind of like, I don't know, and then
Spill the
Marlo,
facts. Spill the facts.
but it wasn't necessarily Candy's fight.
Oh,
but
even though.
It wasn't
but
really
Kandi got to speak the facts, though. She got to give facts to the conversation. Go ahead.
But was it totally untrue? Do we think she totally made up that Kandi called her a lame country bumpkin?
Yeah. Yes, she did.
Do we think she totally made that up?
Yes, she did.
Of course.
Oh,
she lied.
100%.
Of course. Because I'm gonna tell you, if she said that, we would have heard it from season 4 all the way up to now. That Todd said that Marlo would have brought that out every time she came on set and had it out with Kandi. We never heard it until now.
I mean, that makes sense because she would have been used that ammo.
Right. Exactly. When Marlo can't win something, she goes gutter low. But Sebastian, what do you want to say about this thing?
First of all, I'm gonna say this: Kandi Burruss is the nicest person on that show. Because the things that could have came out of my mouth when Marlo kept on coming for me, I could have been saying, when she was saying, get a husband, my mouth could have slipped and could have been like, get a mother. I could have said that, and it would have been horrible. I would have been like, get a mother. Because like Marlo is going so low, and I feel like we have to go low with her too. Like when she's going low, we gotta go lower, as Kandi says.
Yes.
Obama, we gotta go low.
So we're not going to do the Michelle Obama when they go low.
Oh,
we
no.
go
Hell no, Diva.
Oh no, when they go low, we go to hell. That's what I heard.
Thank you, Camila.
We have to, because Marlo needs to stop with this. And who would have thought that we would have liked Drew more than Marlo this season? Who would have thought?
That was a shocker.
I've always liked Drew. I just don't like her antics and her playing the victim all the time. But I do like Drew.
I like Drew too. I like her too.
What do y'all like about Drew?
I never liked Drew, but I like her more than Marlo.
I like her ditziness, honestly, and
the
fact that she's a low key liar, but it's okay because she's just trying to come up into her own. She hasn't found herself yet fully.
Exactly.
Drew is old enough. She should have been found herself.
Okay, folks. Buzz, what do you want to say about this scene, Buzz?
It's Buzz.
Buzz, are you there? Okay, we might have lost Buzz. Don, what do you want to say about this scene?
When the fellas get activated, the season gets good.
Yes.
Every single time. Every single season when the fellas get activated, the season gets good, and it's starting to happen. Let's start with Sonya. What in the dancing dolls did she have on?
I said the same thing. See, y'all always talking about Garcelle's that was horrific, and that was against the law. That does not even have
she have
on? To Jamaica.
No, she was giving us
Hold on, guys. Hold on one second. Ace, thank you so much for this super sticker. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Okay,
damn, Ace look good. Hey,
she looked like my daughter said she looked like she was coming out in front of the Jackson State Band. I said, you know what? But I was so glad that Todd got activated at this dinner because he was giving Marlo exactly what she deserved. And you notice when he started telling her, that's when she started making up lies because she can't combat the truth. Anytime she can't combat the truth, she always got to make up stuff. And Kandi was hitting her too. Kandi was hitting her, and she had every right to step in that conversation because Marlo, I'm like, how she was a complete hypocrite at that conversation, telling him you shouldn't have did that to that kid. Like, you really gave up your nephews, told them to get the F out of your house for 30 days.
Don. I said the same thing. Thank you.
You know. You really going to compare yourself to that? And did you forget what you just did? So you can record or go on your vacations or go on your whole dates or whatever you're doing. Like, you got to sprinkle yourself all over Atlanta or make your money. Like,
And,
it's just,
listen, when Kandi said she didn't want to bring her sponsor to the trip, I said I cannot right now.
I was,
Kandi,
I was
done.
gonna pull
I
her.
was done. Right. So now you're in the building looking gorgeous. What do you want to say?
Who me?
Yes. Hey. Honey, you giving wait 1 second. You giving us legs, you giving us
I
body.
know she giving everything tonight.
I just got off of work, guys.
No, it's all right.
Cool down. It's hot on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Oh,
Humid.
child, we
There's
over
no
here.
Why?
We know.
It is hot. It is hot. What's
It
up,
is
girl?
hot.
What you want to add to the conversation?
You know what, Marlo? That's what you get, Marlo, for being messy and a liar, okay? And she want to call everybody else stuff out, but when it come to her, she want to hide her hand. She'll never want to talk about her personal business. Who you dating, Marlo?
Oh,
And Kandi was right. You got a bunch of sponsors. Let's just call it what it is. And I'm glad. Of course, Todd gonna activate. He gonna activate when it come to his woman. He not gonna let his breadwinner go under fire by herself.
Now, Naughty Love, that was shade. Now, you know that was shade.
No, he got to protect. He
got to protect. Who is the breadwinner?
We know that, but still, you didn't have to just announce it. We know.
Honestly, Camilo,
it's an unspoken truth that we know Ken's the breadwinner. I mean, we all see it. I live in Atlanta. I see it around the city. I know. It's an unspoken rule and an unspoken truth that we know Ken is the breadwinner. But you don't say it out loud.
But I also think it's relevant though. Kandi is the breadwinner because she makes more money, but at the end of the day, Todd make more money than a lot of us. So he would be our breadwinner. Like it's all relative, you know?
It is.
Right. He ain't broke.
Like she told Marlo to get a husband. Marlo lost that round. They came for her and they put her all the way down. And like y'all said, she had to make up lies to try to save herself. And it didn't win because she put 10 batteries, Darcel batteries in Kandi's back. When she said she only known in Atlanta, Kandi almost lost her stuff. She almost lost her stuff. Okay.
And that's why I think Marlo is really, really jealous because she's been coming for Kandi from earlier in the season. Even when Kandi tried to donate some clothes, like I'll take a donation of clothes from Kandi Closet. Like the nerve of you to get on your high horse when somebody trying to be generous. I thought that was very foul of Marlo the way she tried to snub her.
Yeah.
Oh, Kandi found some place to get them clothes to. Trust me, because I know the behind the scenes about that. She found the place, and Marlo is probably over there screaming and hollering that she couldn't get them clothes. Kandi had a house full of clothes that my friend told me she gave away. Trust me.
Yeah, because if you watched her speak on it when they talked about that episode, Jamie was like, "You had us, packing up the whole house to give stuff." And what they did was, like she said, production. They showed what she was throwing out, not what she was giving Marlo. She was giving her all this good stuff, and she turned her nose up at it, so she gave it to somewhere else, like Camilo said. She sure did.
I automatically
did not want to. E, you're in the building. What would you like to say about this dinner in Jamaica?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Is my sound okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Diva. I think it was Sebastian who said he would have said, go get a mother.
Yeah.
A more appropriate read would have been, go be a mother. I'm still turned off at the fact that she could send those boys away. And, she is so on her high horse when it comes to these name brand and these labels. It's more to life than putting on clothes. I mean, she's so hollow inside. I have a major problem with Marlo. And when Todd said that nobody wanted to be her friend, I had to go and think about it. And he was right. Phaedra brought Marlo on to go at Nene. Because remember, Nene was talking about she didn't know Phaedra, and Phaedra was trying to do we all know what a gutter snipe Phaedra is. Really, they make a mistake. No, it's true. And so this whole season has been very uncomfortable for me because when Marlo got in her interview and said, kids are off limits, I remember distinctively on Speak On It last week, Candy said that Marlo was saying some very low things about Brooklyn. And she said low things about Brooklyn in the past. She said Kenya wasn't pregnant. She said that Kenya did not use her own egg. Marlo is trash. She's just
Very,
trash. And I don't
very.
think that she deserves any grace. When somebody says she's making the girls work for their check, I don't think that to me, if I was Candy, I would have put my hands on Marlo. If I was Kenya, I would have put my hands on Mugshot Hampton. I mean, you don't speak to people like this on this platform. Mugshot Hampton has got to go. She needs to be canceled.
Mugshot phony Hampton. Marlo.
Why are you coming to somebody that's done nothing but help you? And that's one thing. I think here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think I would go so hard for Candy if I didn't see what she's tried to do for these women and they just drag her. It's not like she's exempt, but it's like, come on. Like, okay, I can go down from Nene. Nene, she the one that was advocating for you to host the Great Escape tour. Say what you want, but everybody was anticipating that tour, and that tour sold out in arenas, okay? And she messed up with the whole Uber joke or whatever. But she was supposed to be on tour. She wrote a song for Portia called Flatline. She put her on her plate, and she the one that talked about the Ricky Smiley. Because honestly, they wanted Candy for the Ricky for this nation, but Candy was too busy and was like, Portia got the personality for that. She wrote Tony.
Well, one last thing. One last thing.
Yes.
One last thing. Even if Todd said that Candy is a country bumpkin, that's how New Yorkers talk about people from Georgia. That's not an insult to me. That's something petty. That is so surface level. If Todd said that, who gives a I mean, who cares?
Yeah, but he called her out on that. He called her out on that because he didn't even know Candy at the time.
Don Juan said he says that to their face. They say they're joking around all the time. Like he said, it's a New York thing. Not Don Juan, DJ A1 said he says that all the time. It's nothing new.
But Todd let her know she was lying though, because he didn't even know Candy at the time. He worked behind the scenes. So he told Marlo she was lying because he didn't even know her then.
They never met because Candy and Todd met in South Africa. They never met.
They ain't never met.
But make up something believable.
Exactly.
We're gonna make up
Candy and Todd, they was
believable.
Michelle and Barack last night, okay, because they held each other down, and I was feeling their flow, and that made me like them more as a couple.
Exactly.
Despite what they go through, they gonna stand their ground together.
They did stand their ground, but let me say this real quick too. And the thing is, he even told Candy, that's why he was sitting there kind of calm. He even told Candy, he was like, babe, like, don't even worry about it. You know it's not true. But you know, Candy, once Candy gets turned up, you can't turn it down. She said, did that chick just say I'm only known in Atlanta? She lost her natural mind, okay?
And
why?
And Diva, because she's jealous. Come on, Candy's on the Shy. She's got a lot of things going. Like, I look forward to seeing Candy on the Shy. She's doing her thing. Like,
Marlo thinks she worked too much. Marlo thinks she worked too much.
Right?
Marlo
was being messy. She's jealous. Listen, like Don said, even all the men at that table, they was here for the shenanigans. Monyetta husband was laughing.
Did your boyfriend left?
What's his name? Ross even was shaking his head like, oh my God, this is a hot mess. The men were here for it, okay? And they was all with Candy. They was like, come on now, you trying to say Candy ain't all that? You done lost your mind. Ain't nobody with you. And did y'all see when Kenya said to what's the name, Sheree? She said, that's your friend.
And Sheree was even going up against Marlo too, because she was like, I'm staying out of this because Marlo, you are on your own. Because the funny thing is, when they was in the confessionals, and when she said that Kandi is when she said Candy's only known in Atlanta, everybody got in that whole confessional and said Kandi is known worldwide for all of her music except Kenya. Kenya did say, well, Marlo is known worldwide for the work that she does.
The shade of it all.
So she said, she is known worldwide. She said that's the only worldwide she's ever going to get.
Well,
You
next
know what?
time,
So
Marlo
listen,
can bring a
wait,
better customer.
hold on one second.
Marla, why is Marla going after her when outside of this, like when Nene didn't want to mess with her and when he would let her be a friend of the show, she came begging to Todd and Candy because she didn't know what the heck to do because she got into that check and Todd and Candy got her a show.
That's what she do though. That's her pattern. So when she's on the out, she starts crying and pleading, and she's so innocent. And then as soon as she get back in, she start acting a fool. That's her pattern, and she start throwing everybody under the bus. But I really think she coming for Kandi because she want Kandi to be one of her sponsors. That's what it is. She's trying to get Todd out the way. That's why she's trying to come in between them.
So, Kurz, but you calling her Marlo? She is low. She's gutter low.
Very.
That is her new name, Marlo. She's very low. Yes. Marlo tries to bully, then she cries wolf. She does. She's a throw the rock, hide her hands type of chick. She's about to lose this peach, okay? We're about to go snatch that peach up from her because she's doing the most. You can do your job. You can give us TV, but when you want to go low, we not standing for that. We're not standing for that. She's going too low. Yeah, she's going too low. She's going too low. She's doing the most. And to think that
Candy gave her money for the boys before. Like she was like, remember in the first beginning, she's like, oh yeah, thank you for calling and giving me money for the boys and all that. So she's done all this stuff. You just want to cover unprovoked. I can see if Candy did something, but this girl has been going out there unprovoked, and I don't like that.
Right, and I don't like. Go ahead, Nadia. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, it's fine.
What I was gonna say was Kandi was only speaking facts. Marlo seemed to forget when she drank that, she just literally put her nephews out. Coming back bragging to all the girls, oh, I told them to get the F out. Oh, I had to put them out for 30 days. But when Ralph says, he had to step back from adopting, Josiah, oh, she loses all of her marbles. She wants to cry on the floor. You shouldn't do that. That's abandonment issues. I was right there with King. I said she has no right, and how dare she have the gall to sit up here and talk about this man talking about adopting somebody when you just threw your nephews out. You ain't got no right.
She was, she was a really big hypocrite. I do think it was a really good show. I like the resort that they're in Jamaica, and I like the way Kandi in that confession said, I ain't gonna tell nobody, but I've been here before, been here, done that.
That was
funny. I said, Kandi is best and she's slick with it, right? But listen, guys, tomorrow night I'm doing Married to Medicine. Don't forget this weekend we doing the 10K party. I hope you're gonna be there. But we're gonna close this out. Before we close it out, I want to go around the room and tell me your final words. Buzz, what's your final words about this whole episode?
I give it a 10 out of 10. It was good. It kept us talking for almost 2 hours. So enough said.
Enough said. Yes, and happy for Monyetta. Listen, she probably was sad in the moment, especially because that Darnell made her tie her tubes, burn her whole insides up, and then he still didn't marry her. He the devil. But that's a whole nother story for another day, okay? But at the end, though, she still won because her husband seems like a really cool guy. He was nice. He was sitting there calm and he was laughing. He was getting it in. Okay. All right. So next we'll go to Sebastian. What are your final words, Sebastian?
My final words are like, what if Bravo did give Monyetta a peach to see how she was? And she does expose a lot of details about Neo. She could have a lot of details about Neo, and it would have been interesting. I think we should give Monyetta a chance, because we do have to give the boring ones a chance sometimes too,
Oh, Monyetta ain't boring. We just
she hasn't really done much for us, Canelo.
That's what I said.
But Sebastian, you just trying to give out peach to everybody. You doing it over. You get a peach. We're not giving Monyetta no peach. Calm down. We're not doing that. She has not shown us that she's worthy of a peach yet. She's okay, and she didn't even really say much at the dinner table. Listen, we didn't even really know she was here, so stop it with giving her a peach. We got other people we could give a peach before her. But I appreciate your thoughts.
The shade, Diva, the shade.
Erica, your final words?
I think it was a good episode. I think Sonya cannot dress. I think Kenya told that young man to go meet her back at her room.
Oh, shoot.
I think she sent him off to go get the room prepared. I think Drew needs to stop trying to put her trauma onto her son, because that little boy ain't think about none of that. And I think Marlo is just an example of you can have all the designer and all the money and still be miserable, because at the end of the day, she wants herself a family, she wants a man, she wants some children, she wants a career, and she didn't did all of this sleeping around. And now she got the jewelry, she got the clothes, she got the house, and she's still miserable.
And she's still, you know what? You called that. I agree with you on that. Thank you for that. Shannon, how do you want it? What's your final words?
It was a good episode, one of my favorite, and I give it a 10. I can't wait to see what Sonya husband gonna tell Kenya next week. That's the next thing.
I'm going
Whatever happened to the men stay out of the woman business? He stood up. He stood up. He got a little aggressive. He got a little aggressive.
Is he the new Peter Thomas? Is he the new Peter Thomas?
Is he the new Peter Thomas?
I'm just saying.
He tired of running back and forth to run that limousine company. He tried to get it. And who's still getting limousines? He tried to get it.
So, okay, E, what's your final words?
I just want to say that Sheree is always on the wrong team. When they got in those confessionals, she did say Kandi was known on Broadway, but she said that's not worldwide. We need to fire Sheree's ass until she brings those joggers. Until we see those joggers and those yoga mats, we can hold out, and Sheree can be a friend of the show. I love Monyetta. I think she's beautiful. I think she could be Cynthia 2.0, but I don't think she's strong enough to get peached yet. Maybe next year. But thank you all for having me, and bye, Diva. Congratulations on 10K. I will see you this weekend.
Thank you. Shannon, did I skip you?
No.
Okay, did you say your final words?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so Naughty Love, it's up to you. What's your final words?
Marlo need to stop coming for my girl Kandi, and she need to get a permanent sponsor so everybody can be happy, because she is miserable. I love Monyetta. I still want to see a little bit more from her before I give her a peach. And Drew, I hope she gets on the same page with her husband one of these years, like, because she never knows what her husband is up to, doing nothing. They're never on the same page. So I hope they get on the same page by the end of this season, because I'm always lost with their relationship. I don't know about anybody else.
She lost too, girl.
No,
but it was
you telling the truth. They never on the same page. She don't even know what the book's about. You're not gonna write the forward because you don't know what the book's about. She says she don't know she in the book, if it's a good story or a bad story. I said, Drew, come on.
Why you gonna write a story about that lady's son and she don't even know what's going on? Matter of fact, he should have dropped it. He should have dropped it. It should be him and his daddy. Drew need to give up her right. He just needs
Do you live in that house with your husband, Drew? You worried about this darn adoption? Figure out about your marriage, about your license there. Come on. Do you even have a marriage license?
Diva, I'm still hooked on episode 2. I'm still hooked on episode 2, how he treated her. I ain't even got over that. How she got over that?
What did he remind me?
When they was at the table, and how he told her that was he regret doing this for her, and she sit over there eating them lobster tails.
Oh. You was like, you know, like now you said they never on the same page. Camilla, what's your final words?
Look, I love Sheree, but Sheree needs to pick the right people to be on the right teams with, because Marlo's gonna drag her down like Kim did. This episode was a 10. I do like Drew, but I just hate what she's doing, because it just makes her look stupid, dingy, and it makes people turn off from her, because I believe she can give a lot more if she would just push Ralph to the side, keep him out of the spotlight, stop talking about him and her family for a minute, and focus on, her life in the show. Maybe she will, be a little bit better. But Kandi drugged Marlo for filth. Marlo could not come back with nothing. Marlo was absolutely floored. That mouth was right here and could never recover. Oh my God. And y'all talk about Garcelle and her nasty fashion. Y'all better get on that woman, Sonya, because that was tragic. And I'm stealing your word. Tragic.
You know what though? Well, I can't even recover with that outfit. Yeah. But I'll tell you this, you know what I do love? That girl is in tip-top shape. She ain't playing.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
And honey, she gonna get over me a little bit because Deucey is so adorable. Oh my God.
That son is adorable.
He
is adorable.
He's adorable. But let me tell y'all, okay, I'm gonna close this thing out. I want to thank y'all for stopping by tonight. And I want y'all to know that I'm worldwide. Okay?
Yes. Congrats, Diva, on your 10K.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We gotta be here to support our diva.
Worldwide, baby. Kandi is worldwide. But listen, guys, yes. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'm doing Married to Medicine. That was another good episode, Married to Medicine. So we're gonna talk about that tomorrow night. And I will see y'all then. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
See you.